I will free their minds from the discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the entire class discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as lying and all other coarse and subtle negative speech. May their speech be free from the discordant class. I will free their speech from the discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. In brief, how nice it would be if the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the entire class discordant with accomplishing virtue. May their three doors be free from the discordant class. I'll free their three doors from the discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if all sentient beings were free from all sufferings and the causes of suffering that are non-virtues. May they be free from all suffering and its causes. Now, freedom from all suffering and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next we generate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves, who should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms? I should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms. Even though I should take on the responsibility, now I do not have the ability to place them in the state of perfect, complete Buddhahood. Who has such ability? Only those who have achieved the state of perfect, complete enlightenment have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the precious state of enlightenment.
이게 이제 통해서 이제 보고도 샤워 근데 세컨 좀 받더니 그러니까 너희 지금 너무 지금 주로 뭐 뭔데 세 된다 이제 거기가 너희 지금 되게 거짓말 쓰는 지금 주소에서 그래서 내가 지금 우리는 좀 있었어요.
Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind, the aspiring conventional bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into the aspect of a complete Buddhist at one's heart. And the ultimate bodhicitta, that is one's mind becoming one taste with emptiness. All phenomena lack inherent existence. That transform into the aspect of a white five-pronged vajra on top of the mundis.
그래서 너보는 지금 월지나 근데 또 지금 그 차들이 지금 다케로 막 시는 기와 되는 게 예시가 출세부터 내는 시는 지금 더블 지금 뭐です뭐지
Once we meditate on emptiness, the self and the aggregates do not exist as inherently one. If they were inherently one, they would necessarily become partless one. If they were partless one, they are following thoughts. The self would become many. It would be pointless to assert a self. The self would subject the production and disintegration. It will be unreasonable to remember past lives. What's done would go wasted. One would meet with karma one has not done. Therefore, the self and the aggregates do not exist as inherently one.
되게 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 더블로 이기가 더 되고 이거 아주 좀
Self and the aggregates also do not exist as inherently different. If they were inherently different, they would necessarily become unrelatedly other. Therefore, the self and the aggregates do not exist as inherently one or inherently different.
여기서 무슨 얘기가 그 이사와의 무슨 포지티브 에너지 신도의 개념 모습을 그 주제인데 그 신비 공생의 이게 무엇을 다시 간다 뭐 무슨 제가 돼 也世界的地方的多的这天气不一，是风水呀，都因为到底是或者结果呢？第一个是给这里心理保健的是有的是，
As I always say, it is very important to conjoin the roots of virtue of our three doors with the practice of six perfections. Thus, to conjoin these roots of virtue with the practice of six perfections is as follows. The first one is generosity. The nature of generosity is a mind of giving. These 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma is for the sake of purifying the suffering and the arising of happiness of all sentient beings. If I'm able to cause this mind to manifest, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of generosity.
我这就是说，就是本身的这些我是蛮高兴，那那时候我是觉得个是，那多么啊，那个民间把所有的嘛就，这个就没公司去找到，就那个道理。那时候我是结婚了，那个是也在对，这里不一样的是那个是。
Next is morality. The nature of morality is a mind of abandonment. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma, I will properly abandon my physical and verbal misdeeds, not letting them to manifest. If I'm able to cause this mind to manifest strongly, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of morality.
就是住的，现在的水平我是蛮高兴。我那时候我就记得个是，
You see?
我那离的谁了，你的刚刚看这种问题，我们是突然间的啥的哩，对，只是要去找我就我当年，那时候我是结婚了，那个是比较的水平不一样的是一样的事。
Next is patience. Patience. The nature of patience is an undisturbed mind. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma, I will patiently accept any physical and mental hardships and difficulties. If I'm able to cause these minds to manifest strongly, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of patience.
那的确真理的看到，我了动力是不是真的就我是蛮高兴。你上过是结果了是各个的普通的对的，你上过是结婚，你说对的做就是做嘛呢？第一个是给这的，真的是不一样的什么回事？
Next is joyous effort. Joyous effort is a mind enthusiastic for virtue. I will joyfully and enthusiastically engage in the roots of virtue of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma. If I'm able to cause this mind to manifest strongly, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of joyous effort.
我上的时候的设备，如果最基本的话的，是不是我是蛮高兴？那你上过是基本个是设备，当多的那样的话嘛是吧？你上过是基本的，小的那个设备最基本，你这个这个是你是不是搞不就那个当年，你上过是结婚呢？第一个是给这的，说的不一样的是什么意思？
Next is concentration. The nature of concentration is a single-pointed mind with respect to any virtuous object. I will single-pointedly focus my mind on the virtue of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma without being overcome by distractions and discursive thoughts. If I'm able to cause this mind to manifest strongly, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of concentration.
这个教的，那边就是说的，写的是我送的东西，那那时候我是基本个是，写的他看历史的话，写的嘛呢，可以到了以后，他把你写不的结果，上面多呢，刚才那上过是结婚了，第一个是给他的写的快点，是那个是。
The last one is wisdom. The nature of wisdom is a knower that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. I will properly and unmistakenly understand the words and meanings of the Dharma that I listen to, contemplate, and meditate on. If I'm able to cause this mind to manifest strongly, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of six perfections. Will be conjoined with the practice of wisdom.
그렇게 해서 이제 편집에서는 그것도 뭐 비례제도 우리 취해서 나는 쓰기도 좀 생겨나 그것도 그래서 그만하고 계셨어.
Set a good motivation. For the sake of all sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For these, I will fully listen to the teachings and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings.
뭔가 때문에 누가 손들여와 당황진 저거지도 시차를 인도에서 들어가서 이나저도 수습이 돼 이거를 이나는 뭐는 있어.
So we have already covered 8 leisures and 10 endowments. So today we are going to talk about how to the modes, the modes of taking the essence. So, and these has 2 points: the general presentation and the explanations of the meaning of the individual chapters.
这个晓得嘛，写的嘛做，이제 제일 중요한 와, 나 지금 책이 삼바주의 연락도 가르고 그러잖아. 지금 충분히 삼바자와도 내가 또 그랬어. 와, 지금 충분히 삼바자와. 지금 충분히 삼바자와도 내가 또니 자기세. 이게 제시 제발아 퍼진주. 우리 좀 라네. 예, 맞다. 심지 어제 좀 봐. 무슨 도바디 간단히 내 책. 이거 무슨 와. 어제 지금 충분히 삼바자 따로 좀 봐. 어제 우리가 된도서 와. 지금 충분히 수박이 된도 서로 들어시. 그래서 뭐 디스 하고 있는 거.
So this treatise completely shows under the general presentation outline. So this treatise completely shows the stages of the path to enlightenment. So having first trained in the attitudes of beings of small and medium capacities as the branches of training in the attitudes of beings of great capacity, generate the minds of supreme enlightenment and train in the deeds of six perfections such as generosity. So in order to train in the attitudes of beings of great capacity, so one has to first train in the attitudes of beings of small and medium capacities. So these two are the branches of training in the attitudes of beings of great capacity. And regarding the stages of the path, the stages of the path of and regarding the medium scope and the small scope, the attitudes or the beings of small scope and the medium scope. So we have already covered in RIM teaching already. So so all of you have some understanding about the scope of medium and small capacity.
오늘 가도 정말 비례 저기 있어 보여와. 여기 시즌에 정지 세대 그래서 뭐에 제발아 이렇게 저기 있어 보면 오늘 또 그래 했다 비슈사와. 여기 시대 근데 저기라 제발아 이렇게 저기 삼바자와 오늘 또 그래. 내 마음은 저기 생기 레치아 가져가야 거죠. 그 맛을 좀 받고 와. 어떻게 뭐 내가 저기 생각을 집에 저기 삼바주는 맞잖아. 저기 생 나는 레치아 하자 그리고 미스 비슷하다 도마 나 지금 무슨 뭐지 오늘 뭐 우리가 다 때가 안 돼서 진짜 뭐 그다시서 버리고 이렇게
in order to generate in one's mind bodhicitta, then one has to first train in the attitudes of small and medium capacity of being. So it's just like a staircase. So you start from the beginning, then you climb higher and higher. So if you do not first train yourself in the attitudes of small and medium scope, then it will be very difficult for oneself to develop or generate bodhicitta in one's mind stream. So having generated bodhicitta in one mind stream, then one engaged in the deeds of bodhisattva.
그러나 한번 전주도 세계보다 더 좋은 것은 그것을 한번 배우려서 그것을 한번 배워야 가만히서 방법이 이런 데서 와 이런 방법이 되는 기회 충분히 심바되고 대야 처발에 더 동의시 이야기나 그래서 인터레스 you say 이야기 그리고 충분히 somebody 전주 say 이야기 저도 해야겠어 그러나
In order to first generate the minds of supreme enlightenment or bodhicitta, so it is necessary to specially increase the force of enthusiasm through contemplating the benefits of bodhicitta. And this is indicated in the first chapter, and the training in the attitudes of beings of small and medium capacity is explained as its branches. So the training in the attitudes of small and medium capacity is explained as its branches means that, training in the attitudes of small and medium capacity are the branches or are the causes or missions for one to generate the minds of enlightenment.
전주 세계 배워서 가서 가슴이 이렇게 마음을 시설에 저는 가서 시열에 10일까지 도와 10일까지 시열에 그래서 예바다 인바다 전주 이와 전주 인바지 지시고요 정말 님은 어디나 대체 것이라 해서 이렇게 좀 해서 이름을 지야기와
So regarding the benefits of bodhicitta, and I have mentioned several times in the Lamrim class, and also in the ornament for clear realization. So, and regarding these, there are 4 points. There are 4 points. First one is faith, and the second one is aspiration. The third one is joyous effort, and the last one is clemency. So these are very important also in this context.
오늘도 보면 아주 나라 좀 가지는 아주 전주 세계에 제대로와 그 전주 세계에 체도 아마 전주 세계가 통한 다른 전주 세계가 연애 노동 지야라 와서 당을 좀 전주 세계 해야 봐. 그 비용도 비다고 야고 시에 전주 세계 비용도 또 이게 비용도 이익이 그 비용도가 가와도 이익이 대받으려고 그러니까 이 세력을 이길지나 비용 신동스다 비용이 없지도 맞다 원시 물리는 와 비용도 저기서 비용 많이 무시 잘해 와 비파사치 뭐 가리사 바이나 저기 세 뭐 맞는 그 세고기 되어봤다 뭐 가는 것이 예 좀 뭐 먹으러 와 다 저기 신지 비용을 봐 이트로비 바이든 뜻에 맞지 와 여기서 비용을 봐 너무 대박이야.
So regarding the first one, which is faith, so in this context is to generate generate bodhicitta or the minds of supreme enlightenment. So first, one needs to study and understand and see the benefits of bodhicitta. So and through learning and understanding and seeing the benefits of bodhicitta, the faith, activating faith with regard to the benefits of bodhicitta will develop in one's mind stream. And regarding the benefits of bodhicitta, this I have also mentioned many times in the past already. So one of the benefits of generating bodhicitta is even those heavy negativities. So through generating the minds of supreme enlightenment or bodhicitta, then those heavy negativities can be eliminated even in an instant of one snapping finger, in the moment of a snapping finger.
저 이제 세는 거지 지라 그다 비용에 그다 비용이 내가 지어지 내가 되거든 거기 있어 누가 지야게 내가 받으려고 와 저기 있어 네, 대박 휴침을 위해서와 여기서 이거 대박 그 자주생이 배를 보는데 이거 맞지? 대박 대도 자주생이 되는 맞아. 무슨 이거 우리 그런 거
So having seen the benefits of bodhicitta, and cultivating faith will develop, and due to the power of faith, then aspiration, striving for bodhicitta will arise. So then you can see that one leads to another. First, it's about faith, and then due to faith, aspiration will arise.
자주생아 이거 그냥 방금 세대라 내가 진리 중에 또 나갈래 좋아 진짜 근데 내가 괜히 이거를 진리대로 희시 달래 좋아 진리가 안 돼도 다 그런다
And with the arising of aspiration and striving for bodhicitta, then naturally one will undertake a joyous effort, or it leads, or it induces the joyous effort naturally.
전주 들었더니 전주 세제 두고요래 전주 그냥 가서 신의 보면은 신의 제 두고요래 이거로 와 신의 제 와이 나가서 전주 세제가 딱 풀면은 여동에도 들어와 이거 여러 매나 싫어 신의 제다 나가서 전주 세는 거 지나게 할때 하여튼 다 내가 이거 사실로 와 이거 싶어서 와 어떻게 내가 가다 먼저 괜히 내가 그냥 먼저 전주 세는 이렇게 와 이게 만약 전주 제도 해서 가서 먼저 봐 여러 이게 만약 전주 제도 는 그래서
And with the joyous effort, one will be able to generate bodhicitta in one's mind stream. So one leads to another, from faith leads to aspiration, and aspiration leads to joyous effort. And with joyous effort, one will be able to attain bodhicitta in this context. So, and also it says that all qualities follows the joyous effort. So with joyous effort, you can accomplish any good qualities.
하여튼 그래서 다들 그런데 전주 세제 배워 들어와 다들 레우 담보 있게 맞으러와 집이 준비기 선발 때 연합 때 마셔와 때 연합 네 참바서 니지게 자와지 때 전주 쳐도 세제 버게 콜로지 잡으러 맞지 괜찮은 송도와 들어와 단 콜로지 잡으러 가서 잡으러 잡고 쓸래 우리 한번 점어서야 돼 매도 토야 되지 저러와 나 점어서야 돼 맞아 그냥 길을 배셔도 점어만 써야 되면서 나봐 지시 점어서야 야 매도 토야 다 왜 봐야 되지 저러와 내가 간다 설명사 뭐 김치 투어사 봐 예, 맞아. 점어선 그 진디바다야 하고지. 당가도 배부 정보다 맞아. 나머지 된도 쇼기 되는 제딩 와서 돼 제국요와 그러지 자고 내리 시바나지. 나 장주세나. 연 장주세나 배대 자고 있다대. 와. 어디 그러지 자고 제대 바나지. 그 장주세나 맞이야 다고 시죠. 와.
Benefits of bodhicitta and training in the attitudes of small and medium capacity as branches of training in the attitudes of great capacity are indicated in the first chapter. And then so and then in order to generate the minds of supreme enlightenment rooted in love and compassion, then just as sweeping the house and so forth, to which a wheel-turning king is invited, it is necessary to adopt bodhicitta through confessing and accumulating the favorable conditions, which is collections of merit. So confessing the adverse conditions are those obscurations or negativities, and accumulating the favorable conditions, which are collections of merit. So it's just like when you want to invite a very important person to your house, or if you want to invite a wheel turning king to your house, or a Thai Lama to your house, then you clean your house, right? First, before their arrival, then you clean your house. You clean your house, and then cleaning your house signifies or symbolizes purifications of negativities or confessions of our negativities. Those are unfavorable conditions or adverse condition. And then not only that you clean your house, also you sprinkle flower, you prepare flowers, and then you burn in nice incense and so forth. Those symbolizes accumulations of collections of merits, which are conducive conditions of favorable conditions. The Shavachevati Leuniba.
Leuniba, you tinge Sosan, Changi, Liu, the Shima, Liu Sumba, Liu Sumba, Changi, also so on. David Changi says what you think it's Sosa,
So in order to generate the minds of enlightenment, one has to confess our negativities and obscurations and accumulate collections of merits. So the purifications of negativities is indicated in the second chapter, and accumulations of merits is indicated in the third chapter. So the first three chapters, the first chapter indicates the benefits of bodhicitta. The second chapter indicates the confessions of negativities, and the third one indicates accumulations of merits to adopt indicates accumulations of merit in order to adopt bodhicitta. So these three chapters are indicated for the sake of generating bodhicitta that has not generated before. So these three chapters are indicated for the sake of generating the bodhicitta that has not yet generated. So having generated the mind of enlightenment, so one must rely on conscientiousness, the branch that keeps the virtue of training in the deeds from degenerating. So having generated bodhicitta, then one trains in the deeds of bodhisattva. So in order to do that, in order to train in the deeds of in order to keep those virtuous quality from degenerating, then one must rely on conscientiousness. So the conscientiousness and non-conscientiousness, the difference is without being overcome by the three poisons, attachment, anger, and ignorance, then one cherish those virtuous qualities with joint effort. And if one fall under overcome by non-conscientiousness, that means one is overcome by attachment or anger or ignorance, then one has fall under non-conscientiousness. So with conscientiousness, so having generated bodhicitta, then one trains in the deeds of bodhisattva, then one must rely on this conscientiousness. So this conscientiousness cherish those virtuous quality. So cherish those virtuous qualities, or regard those virtuous qualities as important, so that you will not let them degenerate. And this is indicated in the 4th chapter. 还有排斥度。
그런데 이거는 최근에 사천 거 GPK는 와, 아무나 물로 쓰고 와. 그 장주세는 뭐 너무 지내도 와. 장주세 계산이 굳이 뭐냐? 쓰다 굳이 와. 어디 다고지 뭐 뭐냐? 다고지 쓰친 거지.
So even though one has generated the minds of enlightenment, but one needs to keep the bodhicitta that has already generated from degenerating. So in order to do that, then one has to rely on conscientiousness.
그래서 문양만 챙겨 들어와. 요시가 바로 괜찮아서 아니 요가바들이 사실 나도 뭐만 요가바들이 제시 전부 다 시기 때 내가도 시기 요가바들 와 시기 시기년도 시기 때문에 내년도 와서 다시 돈을 쓰지 그게 요가바들做된 와 요가바 다시 돈을 쓰지 봐지와 뭐 쓰지 봐지는 요가바들 때문에 그때 와서 다 요가바 따다 와서 전 시에 거기 뭐냐면 바보들이 뭐냐면 이게 따다 잡아요. 그래서 나중에 시에만 뭐냐면 내봐. 그와 이게 뭐냐면 내가 때 모습 봐. 아 시기되게 너도 시기 뭐냐 녀바 지게 문디셔 용도 거도 이렇게 되게 들어와. 이게 그냥 인생이야 문디셔 용도 이렇게 받니 지게 들어와. 시기돼. 수준 나도 수준 때문에 와. 지게 받니. 수준 때문에 뭐는 전에 그러나 리셋 뭐 지금 문디셔 공부야 다 간다. 와 자주 센지야라 문디셔 이게 그 문디셔 여러 와. 문디셔도 돈이 뭐는 지리를 하고 이제 뭐야. 너 이게 틀려. 쓰면서 뭐 있으면 이제 뭐 지리 자주 센지 문디셔 가는 데보다 대패 치는 와 쓰기도 고 어다데 내용가 받고 와.
So the first three chapters are indicated for the sake of generating the bodhicitta that has not yet generated, and then the next three chapters, 4th chapter, number 5 and number 6, then these three chapters are for the sake of keeping bodhicitta from degenerating. Chapter number 4, 5, 6 are indicated for the sake of keeping bodhicitta from degenerating. So the 4th chapter indicates conscientiousness, and then the 5th chapter indicates the way of training or modes of training in ethics, and the modes of training in ethics by means of guarding mindfulness and introspection. So, and between these two, mindfulness and introspection is the main object of expression in the 5th chapter. And besides introspection, in terms of six perfections, the morality is indicated in the fifth chapter. So fifth chapter indicates the modes of training in ethics or morality by means of guarding, mindfulness, and introspection. So introspection is the between these two, mindfulness and introspection. Introspection is the main object of expression. So in terms of six perfections, the morality or ethics is mainly indicated in the fifth chapter. So introspection is the one that is like a guard checked whether the discordant class of bodhicitta arises or not. So this is introspection. And morality is the one that abandons the discordant class of bodhicitta. So in general, in our meditations before class, and when we talk about morality, then it abandons physical and verbal misdeeds, right? Yeah. So this is what morality does. What morality does, it abandons the discordant class, and in this context, the discordant class of bodhicitta. And this and patience is indicated. Modes of training in patience is indicated in the number 6 chapters. So, and it is also keeping this patience also keeps bodhicitta from degenerating. So when we talk about patience in our general meditation, or in our general meditations, and we say that patiently accept any physical and mental hardships, right? So this is also the same. So one is being patient with those discordant class that causes bodhicitta to degenerate, or that harms bodhicitta. So, for example, one is a practitioner of bodhicitta. So if a person came and slapped your face, then if you were to immediately become angry at the person, and then your bodhicitta will degenerate. So with the practice of patience, one is being patient with this person, then it keeps your bodhicitta from degenerating. So this is an easy example to illustrate that patience keeps one's bodhicitta from degenerating. So these 3 chapters, chapter number 4, 5, 6, keep bodhicitta from degenerating.
liu dirwa liu dimba jeba kuwa suwa liu dimba jeba kuwa suwa 이 전주 세대야 공배당야 이게 liu dimba jeba kuwa suwa dimba 그 가르친 것은 liu dimba 전주 그 전주 수와다 가도 윤대 말이바 제스가 윤대 말이바 전주 제스가 마수 신소 82 한가라 그다建立的 누가 와这个我的龙老巴上我拍去老巴上的地方修有啊老巴说的拍去出来了拍去老巴说的地方修的啊老巴说个哪么有点往上那我说让婆娘的看见的真是有了吧那真是给了点大哎你写了我就不能不能叫了吧我说我差不多
So not only that we keep bodhicitta from degenerating, we need to increase bodhicitta. So in order to increase bodhicitta that has already generated, then we talk about joyous effort. So joyous effort is indicated in the 7th chapter, chapter number 7. So with the joyous effort, one will continue develop bodhicitta to cause it to increase more and more in one's mind stream. So, and we also talk about 6 perfections can be very condensed into 3 higher trainings, right? So even these 3 higher trainings, whichever trainings one engaged in, it involves joyous effort.
第一就是我都要觉得身体不的我都了解吧的多了解吧的你打上长久身体啊别当个人那长久身体的问题就还没呢看到上西对吧3年吧长久身体问题就看得见嘛是吧啊那么些个问题就看得见吧就吧呢上西的毛都把的了就让他就当要吧去是吧就当要吧去上西就毛都起来都是这个身体是吧身体是把这个得了吧上最近的的你当到了那长久性吧的你就看到多新鲜那长久性问题就让西就毛都把得了上当的长久性的你把去了是吧
让西毛都
让西毛都把上路线上就毛都把上了长久性上就毛都把也来别上这几个上当甚至的什么牛的长久性的也了过我时间你个你把去了是吧我你把去了都公平了
So joyous effort is indicated in the 7th chapter, and concentration is indicated in the 8th chapter. So concentration is a single pointed mind. So single point, one place, as we place our mind single pointedly on the lack of inherent existence of those discordant class of bodhicitta. So those discordant class of bodhicitta, then you think about them being lack of inherent existence or non-inherent existence, then you single-pointedly place your mind on that non-inherent existence of those discordant class, even those discordant class of bodhicitta. So even bodhicitta that one has generated, bodhicitta itself is lack of inherent existence. Then you also single-pointedly focus your mind on that lack of inherent existence or non-inherent existence of bodhicitta that has already generated in one's mind. So by doing so, it mutually complement. So it causes your bodhicitta. It mutually complement. They are mutually complementary by single-pointedly focus your mind on the non-inherent existence of bodhicitta itself and also on the discordant class of bodhicitta. It causes your bodhicitta to increase more and more because they are being mutually complementary.
我第一个留过，写了不留的话，那写了的话，那写了这个点的，长久性就问题说，原来那边身体是，把身体那边，是把自己的那个电影呢，那写了回来就把它弄，那写了我们今天的就把就的，刚才那写了的，呀，你把写了留的话，身体电影到底当地写了就留的，啊，年的写了就把结尾的，长久性了就把结尾的，那点了你把写了，
写了几多几开？
我写了多几，我看。就把结尾的，刚才就把这个问题的样的就把结尾的，不只呀，那你把这些切讲究性呢，你把切，是吧？那得多神奇时间看看的，那写了你把切了的， 또 보시자 강주세는 누가 책임고 와 그러니까 상대가 되라 네 자주생제 문제 나서 봤더니 네 역시 봐봐 세지도 상황에 대입 고지 대셔로 양자 해봤지 양시로 좀 문제 장이 양자 그래서 세지도 상황 무슨 제어지 자주생의 누가 책임 평가를 그리고 와 어디 그거 싫어 때 사실은 여러 번도 가서 자주생 문제 좀 싸워내 진기 들어와 자기 소지 문제 좀 싸워내 봐 내가 손에 다 싫어도 잡고 들어와
And in the ninth chapter, chapter number 9, then wisdom is indicated. So, so one single-pointedly focus one's mind on the non-inherent existence of a bodhicitta and also discordant class of bodhicitta. Then from within that single-pointedness, one engage in investigation with wisdom. So with wisdom, again and again, investigating the non-inherent existence of bodhicitta and also the discordant class of bodhicitta, then it causes a bodhicitta to increase further. It means it causes bodhicitta to become more and more powerful. So that's why we say wisdom and bodhicitta. Wisdom and bodhicitta, they mutually complement each other. So, when in the concentration, so from within that concentration, so concentration is a single pointed mind on the non-inherent existence of bodhicitta and also the discordant class of bodhicitta. Then wisdom repeatedly investigates the non-inherent. Wisdom repeatedly investigates a bodhicitta, and through these, it causes bodhicitta to become more and more powerful. So they are mutually complementary. So, and the one that actually uproot the discordant class of bodhicitta is wisdom.
와, 여기가 되게 약간 뭐 약간 뭐 같은 거를 나도 다시 들어는 진바 쏘다 나도 레우트가 그 진바 와 진비와 심파지와 뭐 내가 레우트가 되고 레우트가 와 뭐한테 그 진바 되게 쉬워 그래서 다시 들어는 뭐 이나 다 스마트에서 레우트로 와 레우트로 뭐 장사 그 괜찮은 거电视로自己거의 진바自己 세바自己 손비셔로 서만도 상과 다시 진바를 가와되어서
So chapter number 7, 8, and 9 causes the bodhicitta that has already generated to increase. And the last chapter the 10th chapter or last chapter, it indicates dedication, and also in terms of 6 perfections, the perfections of generosity is indicated in the 10th chapter. So this covers all the 6 perfections.
다 레우치가 와서 두 상담만이나 딱 되고 어떻게 쳐되고 와서 매도 빼마 시반하시 매도 빼마 된 다음에 지지나서는 지말 센터 오셔와 이말 와서 매도 빼마 센터 던주 쇼와 다 등어서 모아서 빼 모아 와
신주 이마디
오지만 와서 빼 레우 담보니마 소소로 빼 간주 세마기 받지 다 소산들이 일레와 레우 담보가 되고 레우다 그거가 간주 세마기 받지 다 비워다 디샤다 정말 두슬레로와 진짜 초상까지 디바이오스와 나도 저림발레도 다 레우주바가 참다 그래서 장주세 뭐냐 봐 구배지어라 보내 본다 배워 참까서 아 그래서 도도리 한거야 돼 매도 빼면 기마 신도 나시 아 시신지 상지 공부도야 디디야 신지 뭐야 와 아무 진바 다달레고도 진바도 가서 진바 뭐 지시대 아 예상 뭐야 들어와 진바가 있다 지시대 예상 뭐야 들어와 뭐다 이 되네 이 저한테 그러나 예승제 단지 상지 공부가 예승제 단지 눈에 나와 여와다 이게 뭐 대체되는 거야 와 어디를 달리 우주가 되게 무슨
And 10th chapter indicates dedication and also a perfection of generosity. So these chapters are likened to lotus flowers. So lotus flowers with many petals. So these chapters are like the petals So from the very first that generate bodhicitta, know about the benefits of bodhicitta, then one, in order to generate bodhicitta, then one accumulate conducive conditions and purify unconducive conditions, and then we cause the bodhicitta not to we keep the bodhicitta that has already generated from degenerating, then we cause the bodhicitta to increase more and more. So all these chapters are like the petals of a lotus flower, and the middle of a lotus flower is the 10th chapter, is like dedication. That it is the dedication. So it dedicates the roots of virtue, dedicates the roots of virtue to enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. So for the sake of sentient beings means that for them to be free from suffering and for them to have happiness. So these chapters are likened to a lotus flowers, the petals and also the middle. The middle is the last one, the 10th chapter, dedication.
오디와 바반다 이제다 난 레브 상지대 맞아 레브 상지 공부해야 와 레브 상지 공부해야 레브데 무바시르 들리고 때문에 그래서 무바시르 들리고 와 레브 출구스나 리거다 가는 레브 상지 공부하러 와 레브 상지 저도 공부했다 무바시르 들리고 때문에 가다 지고 무바시르 들리고 가서 되게 셔르 되게 아 단지래 얘리 누가 카모데 봐 누가 참모데 봐 이방 무슨 방문에 징계되다 셔르 들어와 이 간에 셔르 들어와 이 셔르 대이 또지 가다 상지 공부하려 그는 무슨 왔다 상지 공부야 예뻐를 가서 현대 투지하면 좀 와서 냠샤리야 상지 공부하는 거 얼마나 봐 와서 좀 타마지 가서 배셔가 좀 타마지 가서 가서 공부하는 세지도 반영 바셔 밑에 돈도 셔르 내려와 돈이 좀 셔르 돼 셔르 대이 시디 타모들 봐 무슨 카테잖아요 가리고나 나가는 예 리뷰쇼고 돌아 리뷰산지 주고 때 내가 통해야지 어떤 괜히 리뷰산지 예스 때 요 뭐가 되는 예스고 또 받아줘
And the resultant state, the Buddhahood, is indicated in the ninth chapter, which is wisdom chapter. So the resultant state of enlightenment or the resultant truth body is indicated in the ninth chapter. So it is indicated in the wisdom chapter. The reason for it to be indicated in the ninth chapter is because, so with wisdom, so wisdom is the direct antidote to eliminate the self-grasping and to eliminate subtle obscurations. So the direct wisdom is the direct antidote to the self-grasping and also to the subtle obscurations. So, and we also talk about one will achieve, one will one progress to the higher path and even to the state of enlightenment within the meditative equipoise. So, for example, one is on the state of last moment of 10th ground. Then one stays in the one is in the meditative equipoise, single-pointedly focused on the meaning of emptiness. And then with this wisdom realizing emptiness, then whenever one abandons or eliminates the subtlest obscurations to omniscience, then one will achieve the state of enlightenment. So one progress to the state of enlightenment from within the meditative equipoise.
어디 샤워도 인구에서 티켓을 먼저 쳐버린다. 소피 시험을 말도하니 소피 시험에 싸워 있는 것도 들이다. 일단 세모문화 기초 나서 누가 로버 논지 뛰지 그러나 받다 되게 산지도 연하나 예수나로도 한건 중 내가 개와 논지 니나 따스. 이게 싸워도 못 되는 거 봐. 어디 가서 뒷바퀴 개와 둘이 봐서 된다 디마시 와. 그래서 이제 마시고 뒷바퀴 개와 예뻐도 리바통 받는 거.
So under the chapter explanations of the individual chapters, then one of the outline is instruction that it is appropriate to abandon negativities and accomplish virtues. So under this outline, the correlating verse is the relative verse is 1.5 and 1.6, the first line of 1.6. So 1.5 is just as a flash of lightning brightly illuminates for an instant within the clouds on a dark night. Likewise, in this world, through the might of the Buddha, merit and intelligence occasionally occur for once. Hence, virtue is perpetually feeble. So these lines, 1.5 verse and the first line of 1.6, as it relates to this outline instruction that it is appropriate to abandon negativities and accomplish virtues. So I also read the verses in the root text. 1.5 is just as a flash of lightning brightly illuminates for an instant within the clouds on a dark night. Likewise, in this world, through the might of the Buddha, merit and intelligence occasionally occur for once, and virtue is perpetually feeble. So I'll read these verses in the root text so that it will become oral transmittance of the root text as well. So just as a flash of lightning brightly illuminates for an instant within the clouds on a dark night, so our virtue is weak and our negativities are strong. So the time to practice virtue is short, just as a flash of lightning. So flash of lightning illuminates the time we practice Dharma. And then the clouds on a dark night. So dark night illuminates the time where our mind is turning towards the negative or turning towards the negative side. So like, for example, if we do not think properly, so whenever we engage in the activity of eating, walking, lying down, and etc., then most of our mind are turning towards the negative side. So so it illustrates that the time of times of committing negativities are like a dark night that is very long as compared to flash of lightning, the time of practicing virtue.
工作也不，那个也不，我也不去上班呢。一些都刚刚嘛到，主要一些嘛上班呢呀，你们全部学这个事。你把的，反正你话是那我全部生活的生活的，啊，你生活生活工作全部生活多呢，你干嘛啊？就了，你永远就是在给我也不去上班呢，你再也不去上班呢，我那的，你把全部学呀，我的，这种工作那是我的，真的，我。
To knowing that the time to practice virtue is very short compared to committing negativities. So if you were to check a whole day, so from the time you wake up and until the time you go to sleep, if you were to check all the activities that you have done throughout the day, then you will notice that most of our negativities are most of our activities are negative. So so knowing that the time to practice Dharma is very short, so even though it's very short, then we must practice those virtue properly. So properly or make those virtue powerful. So the way to make those virtue powerful is through joyous effort. And then we engage in the virtue, even though it's for a short time, even for 5 minutes, for example. However, we make those virtue with the complete three phases. The three phases refer to the beginning, actual session, and beginning or preparation, then actual session and a conclusion. So once a preparation or beginning is motivated by bodhicitta, then one engage in the actual session, and then one concluded with dedication. So uh, even though that activities only last for 5 minutes, and since it is complete with these three phases, then that virtue that one accumulates, that one creates, will become powerful.
那你们听到你忙不实在的，我话呀，让你讲是小家中国人，你我卡拉啥个人，蒙达卡拉啥个人，卡拉，马萨的中国嘛的，卡拉啥个卡拉，俺就上路卡拉当王都，国家东北卡拉，小家东北卡拉，俺就，中国家几乎给上路满意吧，我，你们卡拉什么，中国家的卡拉行不，你几乎给上路满意吧，蒙达卡拉呢，这里上路满意吧，你嘛上当的啥情况？我学生是吧？这里上当对吧？给钱我说啊。比如说，阿拉萨的卡那个钱的啥个也是嘛，是说是国家国家呀，邻近国家呀，就是如果过去钱呀，点上去上当呢，这个呢取消了咱们借用，是吧？那就取消了借用是吧？我到卡拉萨，那看着人家他妈讲说，必须到了把上东西当头把人呐，这样说，遇到过去，跳舞的是吧？就是别子啥，如果讲别子啥么，人家有点机会了吧？我在这里上当时，我们是每天跟他们做朋友是吧？
Yeah, so it's very important to think. Yeah, it's very important to uh, properly think when we eat food. So in the morning we eat breakfast. At noontime, then in the afternoon, then we take how say we eat lunch, and then at night, then we eat dinner as well. So when we eat those meals, then it's very important to properly think before we engage in those actions. In before we eat our meals. So it's not just for the sake of a full belly, or it's not just for the sake of enjoying those delicious food, and then it's not for just sorry, it's not making our body to look strong, and then it's not making our body to look beautiful, tone, and etc. So for what purpose are we eating this food? So we need to properly think about it before we eat before we eat food. So and we have to make those actions, even as simple as eating breakfast, lunch, or dinner, as as a dharma activities, or make those actions in the directions of a dharma practice. So if we able to think properly when we eat those food, then not only that we will have a full belly of after eating those food, we also accumulate roots of virtue when eating those foods.
我这当然是说个这差不多应该是吧？那这里面说那个把题目用吧，我在这里是个朋友的写过的，我呢把东西弄个在早些多，那早点嘛对是吧？早点的，什么上送多， 마지막 이만 와.
가서 디바치모 좀 말이.
바토치 인도 세 말이죠. 우리 디바치모 좀 와서 디사지. 그때 사지 신다 줄 먹어 봐지. 그때 먹어도 하지. 그것도 사지가 된다 신도.
So then the next three lines is under the outlines of destroying the great negativities. 차단데 로그인배.
바토치 인도 세 봐. 배를 좀 장주 쓰는다. 이제 관계 수준 내가 이제 와, 내가 이제 스타데 시스템 같은 근데 장주 쓰는 배를 되고 다 봐야 되는 와.
So these three lines also indicates the benefits of bodhicitta. So he says, the great power of negativity is horrible, except for a mind of complete enlightenment. By what other virtue will it be overcome?
어디? 아까 장주 쓰는 거 봐라. 하나 내가 지금 가서 뒷바 찾는 거 간이기는 좀 보고 해야 된다 되다. 장주 쓰더라. 뒷바 듣는 좀 봐서 가서 저기 저기 뭐 해야 와. 저기 뒷바 듣는 좀 봐서. 그 장주 쓰는데 이 누가 가르치나? 이거 가르치나? 뒷바 진짜 차나게 우리 친구 있으면 막 간이기가 있다 때 뭐래 봐. 같은 기분 너무 그래서 통을 해. 우리 세로 붙이는 양이 제발이나. 내가 디스테만 디는 맞추고
Yeah, so this also indicates the benefits of bodhicitta, which is able to destroy great negativities. So with bodhicitta, then no matter how great a negativity is accumulated, then it can be destroyed. It can be destroyed by bodhicitta without experiencing its results.
장비 세대 뭔가 하는 건 내가 지역으로 좀 짱거리 해서 많이 든 생각은 야이 죠 와 한야월 때 동안 서이 동안 장이 동안 동안 또 체내 동안 되게 냥게 디바지 싸서 와 이 디바사야 가다 가다 좀 장주 있어 많이 봐 개와 시 간지나 우리 디바스 대본 용 먹어야 돼 그냥 같이 깔아 버리 했어 와 이 신기 심바지 그걸 간다 와 내 장주 신기 심바 어떤 뭐 도시 돈에 차도지나 다르게 생긴 심바지 그걸 와 우리 집에 어떤 들리지 여봐이나 요아시에 경이 같이 뭐 두고 말했어 와 관계자 쓰기는 두고 말해 다 있어요 뭐 되게 산다 누가 차치 못해 나 놈먹어야 제부터 놈먹어야 좀 두고 해 해서 내가 들려 나 장기생 배우는 지열에서 와
So the great power of negativity is horrible. So horrible is these negativities are the causes of health, such as hot health, cold health, and etc. So these great power of negativities, which are very horrible, then it can be destroyed by bodhicitta. So can be destroyed by bodhicitta means that having infused with bodhicitta, then even in the context of the four the four opponent powers, yeah, four opponent powers. So even four opponent powers, then through being infused with bodhicitta, then those great negativities, which are the causes of health, then can be purified.
저한테 간다 장주 씨들 네가 들리 열이 배들이 열이 있어야 돼 만도 맨날 장주 있으니 이거 또 시비가 말해서 와 맨날 장주 있으니 다 디파트가 사회 보야 네가 열에 네가 뒤또 시비가 맞다 장주 씨들 또 시비가 맞 그또 필요돼 그거 장주 있으니 이거 시비가 해서 나도 나지 맨날 장주 있으니까 그거 장주 있으니 니어로 와 맨날 장주 있으니 되는 마찬가지 와서 번 이런 것도 싫어 들어와 번 이런 것도 싫어 들어와 나 자주 있었어. 오늘 저도 싫어 들어. 와다 단단 네가 자주 쓰지 비용 신에서 와데 또데 혼자 자주 쓰지 비용 대신 거래서 와 자주 쓰지 비용 대신 거래. 그다음 와서 단단 자주 쓰지 비용 이거 말했어. 또데 혼자 자주 쓰지 비용 대신 거래서
So here he says the benefits of bodhicitta, right, is indicated in the first chapter. So when we say bodhicitta in general, it can be divided into two: conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. However, here it doesn't. It mainly talks about the benefits of conventional bodhicitta. So it doesn't mean that it doesn't talk about the benefits of ultimate bodhicitta. However, the benefits of ultimate bodhicitta is not mainly indicated here. So what is mainly indicated in the first chapter is the benefits of conventional bodhicitta.
어디지로 난네 가데 근데 다시 세게 아나 내로 있죠 사바 가지 신나 진짜가 피하기요 이래서와 가서 다시 심어 진짜 피요래서 어떻게做的 맞아 피해 치우디 근데 다시 세做시고 그래서 피하디 된다 다시 세니 여러 하잖아 뭔가 이게 그거 다시 세니 와 아무도 나지 이렇게 군도 쓰려나 오이 뭐 마이와 시오디 다 된다 다시 세게 시고 뭐다 그거 다시 아주 세군도 전시세보다 모이고는 막 이해우디 멤버스들 주바스 지지 디니케 시험으로 마도 그다음 가서 모이고는 막 이해와 시험이 된다 사실세다 군도 전시세 디케 시험으로 마다
모이고는 이해와 있나?
모이고는 막 이해우디 멤버스들 주바스 지지 디니리 와 디니 그러면서 지난 시험이 군도 전시세 된다 전시세에서 니네로 와
Yeah, so in general, when we talk about bodhicitta, then it can be divided into two: conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. So ultimate bodhicitta basically refers to the wisdom directly realizing the meaning of emptiness. So that is in a general context when we talk about when we say the word bodhicitta, it can be divided into the two: conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. So if you come across the wordings is like bodhicitta divided in terms of nature. So bodhicitta divided in terms of nature, then it refers specifically to conventional bodhicitta. So that when this conventional bodhicitta is divided in terms of nature or entity, then it's divided into two: aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta.
하나도 되지라 다 되다 사진 이바가 대화 바세 좋아서 맞대 또 받고 와 좋아도 돼
And the next outline is the ability to accomplish supreme happiness, and this is indicated in the 1.7 verse.
어디 거부터 뭐라고 한 세바이 고안난 진데 니 템바 시스 니네 세미주의 초로지 연조되어 니도 토라시에 해서 어디 쇼로가 진도와 이게 내와 초도 눈이야 어떤 식으로 와 내가 시고
So verse 1.7, all the lords of subduers who have contemplated for many eons have seen it to be beneficial. For by it the immeasurable masses of beings will easily attain the supreme happiness. So this verse indicates the ability of bodhicitta the bodhicitta ability to accomplish supreme happiness.
간다들이 들이다가도 내가 초루하게 딱 하다 네가 유튜브에서 니네 스타팅 거다 이것은 까봐 처음에 말 하고 까봐 다음에 뭐지라 신기라 멤버들 데이터에 야식을 가르면 다 산지 거다 뭐라 해봐는 거야 산지 둘러 줘봐는 그때 그 재미 도말이야 신기라가 멤버들 가게 산지게 두게 줘봐제 어디 산지게 내가 도도에 다시 가는 보고서 정주 시세는 거지. 좋아. 특히 야식에 정주 시세는 일에 봐봐. 맨 상징 둘러게 제바들고 가더라와. 제바지오디. 제바지게 둘러 제바 정주 시세는 뭐라. 신 사실은 배바 여기 정주 시세는 뭐지? 내가 하지 못. 상징 둘러 제바들고 나 상징은 뭐야 가기 요마와. 너도 요마리. 간다. 이 정주 시세는 뭐지? 상징은 배바 그냥 야식 가르나 사도이 내까지 되는 것도 장주시는 거지. 그래서 사도가 돼. 사도가 단지치고 뭐가 누구 장주시는 거지. 그래서 장주시는 건데 봐봐 단지치고 내가 가와 전부 간지고니 그거는 서베 넣으시다. 장주시에도 우선 디스가 해서 다 산지 우주가 나오니. 그 도안 스타드 리버와 봐봐 도마라 본세 바이세 산지 공부 그래. 거기에 부산시니 껴봐나 간다. 와 가르 신기를 펜바도 야실 가래 어때 펜바도 잘 야실 가래 누가 다 야실 가래 제바세 네 야실 전기 세는 거지 코나래셔 네 누가 제바 되는 거
So the verse itself says, all the lords of subduers who have contemplated for many eons have seen it to be beneficial, then will easily attain the supreme happiness. So seen it to be beneficial, it refers to bodhicitta. So all the lords of subduers have contemplated for countless eons, then they have seen bodhicitta to be beneficial and as the highest and most supreme method to attain the supreme happiness. So those Buddhas, they have contemplated for many eons, and then they unmistakenly contemplated for many eons and have seen bodhicitta to be beneficial, the supreme method to attain the supreme happiness. So even if you want to attain a temporary goal, such as a higher status or the higher rebirth, then bodhicitta is the supreme method or the best method. And even if you want to attain ultimate goal, such as liberation and omniscience, and again, bodhicitta is the most supreme method to accomplish these goals.
다 전유 세대 산지도는 되게 그 쿨라 원래 저번에 그 공디 다 전유 세대 그래서 이미 준세서 와 이미 준세 준세 가르나 전유 세대 때 세다 양가 야와서 이쪽은 이유 알았어 이번 들어와 이번 네 해봐 진짜 해봐 줘야 돼 세다 장갑회 심마도 봐야 돼 세다 장지도 해봐 저 진짜 굉장히 참아라 간다 이건 더 대화 누야게 라는 데만 맞에 다 초도 주바니 뭐 맞에 와 이래 저거 컨티뉴 맞아 이래 저거 컨티뉴 공부하면서 봐얘 누야라 간다 요도 벌써 되는데 이 요도 몇번 이봐 맞에 되는 사람도 세게 누야라 나도 안 봐왔다 와 세게 봤더니 예 땅이 치고 빨리 치고 세게 봐라 안 봐와요 안 봐와
세게 봐라
세게 봐다 칼라마자 빼셔 세게 쉬고 봐 와, 따고 세제 받아서 봤는데 이 백까지 잡은 이유가 뭐랬어? 까지 잡은 이유 뭐기 봐. 난다. 내 사비토니 난다 경비세는 뭐지는 연애 지역이 이래 삐삐하게 이 요래. 내 사비토니 이제 그 대원 속이 근데 이게 뭐야? 경비세는 뭐 이때라 연애 지나 누요레스. 이때 예 경비세는 그 연애 제발라 까고 세제라서 봤는데 이라 까지 슈트 잡았더니 뭐고 말했어? 와, 저거 뭐 그거 같은 줘야요. 그래서 짜증 그게 그래서 그런다.
And Buddhas or those lords of subduers have seen that bodhicitta is the only and best and the easy way to accomplish these desired goals. Whether if you want to attain the highest status, or if you want to attain the definite goodness, such as liberation, then bodhicitta is the sole easy best method to accomplish those desired goals. And this bodhicitta, it cannot be measured. The benefits of bodhicitta is immeasurable and it is countless. So and one doesn't have to go through the hardships or difficulties of pulling one's hair or stop eating food and etc. Then you don't have to you don't have to go through those difficulties, and by relying on bodhicitta, then the sole best and easy method to accomplish your desired goals. So this is the reason why Buddha have seen it to be beneficial. And under the outline, ability to accomplish desired goals, then this is indicated in the verse 1.8.
자자 중대지 진짜 못했어 내가 다 내가 자자 저거 되죠 단지 생이 따도 pom이 자세 어디 잡아야 되나 그래서 이거
Yeah, so just now it talks about you don't have to go through the difficulties of fasting or pulling out your hair. Then by relying on bodhicitta, then one can easily accomplish those desired goals. Then in the verse 1.8, it talks about the ability to accomplish desired goals. Then 1.8 it says, those who wish to destroy the multitudes of sufferings of existence, those who wish to dispel the unhappiness of sentient beings, and those who wish to enjoy multitudes of happiness should never forsake the minds of enlightenment.
어디 이들가 다 간다면서 저로가 뒤로 아저씨 가서 간다 비비 중비 치의 생각이 되어지 두고나로 간다 지부 중이나 간다 그래서 등을 지도하네 먼저 먼저 토야게 쳐도 그래서 지구로 와 내도 되와 토야시로 비비 중으로 보이나 비비 중으로 보이나 그래서 등을 앞서서 봐 지도하네 내도 되와 토야지 예 저는 지구에 아 지분 중이나 그러니까 뭐 시비 동아자라 뭐 시비 동아자라 될레바 지나치게 딱 간다 타발 토야 돼야 그래서 지구로 와
고에시바?
고이시바 고이시바 가라 간다 고이시바라 간다 나왔는데 고이시바 들어봐 안돼 이거 전에 타바 토야 이 치를 또 두셔야 되는 와 지분들이나 지분 처모이나 계속 가지 간다 고이 동아다 그래서 동아 하다래 봐 더한데 지비 지비 나는 와 신체 탄지 이 신체 단지 고아 다니면서 그 동안에 봐 라는 때 오바 선지 공부하려 when the somebody 와 오, 이 소다 아들이 되게 비비 친구 추서 하나게 되게 내가 되지 와 두발라 나 전주지 세는 거지 되게 냐는 제바이나 내가 뉴도 두두 해서 내가 그런 거 여봐 뉴도 두두야 와 뉴도 두두야 네 해서 된다.
So the goals of three scopes of being. So for the small scopes of beings, then in order having fear of sufferings of having fear of sufferings of lower realms, then they wish to attain the happiness of higher status. Then they put in effort. Then this is the attitudes of small scopes of being. And then the attitudes of medium scopes of beings is to attain liberation, being freed from the samsaric suffering. So oneself being free from the samsara, being free from samsara for oneself. And then the attitudes of great scopes of beings is for the sake of freeing all sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms, then they wish to attain the state of enlightenment or Buddhahood. So these three desired goals, to attain the happiness of higher status, to attain liberation, to attain the state of enlightenment. So all these three desired goals can be easily and quickly achieved by bodhicitta.
한번 저 제가 시험을 나도 제비 중무다 그래서 루시아 가도 지로와 제비 중무다 링이로와 제비 중무다 링이 루시아 가도 돼 그다음 와서 제비 중무기 심망도 대화들와 시민에도 대화들이 그간다 제비디나 도자도 타고 차대로와 뭐 차대래 저나 장주 있어야 맨나 우리 제비 중득이 루시아 돼 문 말해 뭐 말해서 또 말해서 도그랬어 그거에 대해서 간주를 쓰다가 냐네 개발이나 대하도 포도 그래서 대라도 두고 그래서 와 얘하고 어디 좀 그래서 내가 자주 쓰는 내발라 그다 집이 중득이 두자 되나데 두고 있어 와 두고 있어 두고 있나 빨리 세례가 되고 있어 와 빨리 지금 나 자주 쓰는 거지 딜을 냐네 좀더 더 봐이나 그런 거 두자 타도 돼봐 대라도 두고 그래서 내가 되시고
So even though the ultimate objects of accomplishment for small and medium scopes of beings is the happiness of higher status and liberation, so even without the bodhicitta, one can accomplish these objects of accomplishment or objects of attainment. So it doesn't mean that without bodhicitta, then they cannot attain these ultimate goals of accomplishment. So, however, with bodhicitta, they can easily accomplish their desired goals without much hardship. So it doesn't mean that without bodhicitta, small scopes of beings and medium scopes of being, they cannot attain their ultimate objects of attainment, which is happiness of higher status and liberation. They can. It's just that with bodhicitta, they can accomplish their desired goals easily without much hardship. Yeah, so we should keep our bodhicitta from degenerating, keep the bodhicitta that has already generated from degenerating, and then we should never forsake bodhicitta, and we should all the time practice bodhicitta. So, and even and also in our class, at the beginning of our class, and we meditate on bodhicitta. So, through being having how say we meditate on bodhicitta, and through this, then our roots of virtue of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma is infused with bodhicitta. So under the outline of obtaining a special name and significance, then this is indicated by the verse 1.9. Verse 1.9. When the minds of enlightenment is generated, in that moment, those wretched ones fettered in the jail of secular existence will be called child of the Sugatas and will become objects of reverence by the humans and gods of the world. So obtaining the special name and significance, the verse is 1.9, and it says, when the minds of enlightenment is generated, in that moment, those wretched ones will be called a child of the Sugatas and will become objects of reverence by the humans and gods of the world. So will be called a child of the Sukatas is obtaining the special name. So a sentient beings, a wretched sentient beings who is tormented by three types of sufferings due to the origins of karma and the origins of afflictions. Once they generated the minds of enlightenment in their mind stream, then these samsaric being, a wretched being, will be called a child of the Sukata. And the special significance is, and this wretched being who has generated minds of enlightenment in his mind or in her mind will also become an object of reverence by the humans and gods of the world. So that means they becomes an object worthy of reference by humans and gods in the world.
나한테 간다. 좋아, 이거를 쓰다. 나도 제가 처음 이 차자에 의해서 저도 뭐도 상사하고 마시는 시를 되게 정지서 뭐 말이야 말해서 그러다. 나도 내 당부와 예, 누가다 강이 냥다봐. 속에 장주시나 연예진의 세대 제발이나 제발 대봐. 대가는 끼지 대가는 소리 너와 집이 세다. 좋아. 너와 집이 세다. 근데 지금 한 번도 제발 호도 봐가 차자에 의해서 줘봐. 우리 대한민국에서
So this special name and significance is not obtained only by Arya Bodhisattvas, and these qualities, the special name and special significance, can be obtained by a samsaric being or a wretched being who is tormented by three types of suffering due to the origins of karma and afflictions. Can be obtained by a wretched being as well. So it's not only these qualities is not only limited to those Arya beings. It can be obtained by a wretched being as long as they generate bodhicitta in their continuum.
Yeah, that is 좋아요. 좋아하면은 쇼로가 지만 레이스. 이거가 지도로 이도라 내가 너무 있어. 좋아요는 좋아다셨어.
Yeah. So do you have any questions? If you have any question, you can ask now. If you don't have any questions, then I will continue probably to cover another one or two verses.
Yes, Geshe-la, there's one question I have. This is pertaining to verse 1.5. Just as a flash of lightning brightly illuminates, right, for an instant within the cloud of dark night. Can we relate this back to the the preciousness of the perfect human rebirth? Because when we talk about chapter 1, the benefits, right? So the benefit starts from that it has this great power to purify negativities, right? Which is in 1.6. So 1.5 is like in between, kind of, when we are talking about the precious human rebirth and coming to the actual benefits of bodhicitta, right? So this thing about a flash of lightning brightly illuminates for an instant, can we actually kind of connect that, alluding it to the rarity of the perfect human rebirth?
其他节目没那定了呢，上面就送吧，上面就送。呀，你其他节目没那定了呢，录取给起让对马打的哦。你卡萨七点做，你两个做人卡萨米鲁引荐给官部，米鲁引荐给人堂，这堂加那地区有哪些？
같이 다른 저는 리뷰로 들어와. 그래서 뭐 이런 체를 내가 당시 했죠. 네, 하자고 나와진 저거치서 뭐 이런 분인데 하자 공부를 세우라. 네 잖아. 나 만디가 개문도 들어와. 만디가 개문도 아마도 최지하고 왠지 양아 로다 가서 상진 투이 잖아. 신다 상시. 아마도 나와진 저거치 나와도 되게 했어 그러와. 되게 했어. 제가 만디가 개문 제고 들어와. 네, 다 했어 가지고. 상황도 단단히 취지할 때 이와도야도 다 했어 버와.
但是这个主要给推出的通通的两种就电脑线了，其他你讲米路人不去这当加那一两这个人，
我记得我记得我就把就把这个你不要他的是这样子我做个哇举不能做哇背不能做哇的说了哇
Yeah, so it's fine to relate this verse to the rarity or the preciousness of precious human rebirth as well. Yeah, because it says that the flash of lightning brightly illuminates, then it occasionally occur for once. Then it also illustrates the rarity of precious human rebirth, endowed with 8 leisures and 10 endowments. So how say, you can relate it from the perspective of meaning. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so it's how say, whatever you say then is very good. So that the perspective or the anger from relating this, the anger of relating this to precious human rebirth is very good.
Okay, thanks.
So probably there is no more questions from you. So we have the verses that we have covered. Then you go back and think about it. And if you have any questions, then you can ask in next class. So next class, I'm going to start from verse 1.10. Like the supreme goal making elixir, it takes the unclean body and transform it. So this 1.10 indicates the example or analogy of transforming the inferior to supreme. So we conclude this Dharma discussions or Dharma lesson with dedication. We dedicate these roots of virtue to the flourishing of Buddha Dharma and to the excellent happiness of all sentient beings. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teaching, mainly His Holiness the Dalai Lama. May all their holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously and may accomplish instantaneously and spread in all 10 directions. And may they have good health and have a long life. Sorry, may they have good health and may they live long and have good health, and may all their enlightened activities and holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all 10 directions. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to the quick recovery of also we also dedicate these roots of virtue to His Holiness, and may His Holiness be quickly recovered from the knee surgery. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to our beloved teacher, Kapsya Lama Zopa Rinpoche. May the unmistaken reincarnations of Rinpoche be swiftly returned and continue to turn the wheel of Dharma for the sake of teachings and sentient being, so that we will have the opportunity to receive the profound teachings from Rinpoche again. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to the world peace. May excellent happiness prevail in the world. May wars, conflicts, disaster, natural disaster, diseases, pandemic be pacified immediately. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to all sentient beings, especially to those who help others, such as nurses, doctors, and those who help others financially. May they live long and have good health, and may they quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. And may their life be filled with excellent happiness. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who pass away due to wars, conflicts and pandemic and diseases. May all their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment.
We are telling you.
Inshallah, thank you everyone.
Thank you, Geshe-la, Ken.
Inshallah, thank you everyone.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Take care now.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Ken, and everyone. Have a nice Sunday.
愿你们，要学到念不就。
对的呢。